my failures was because I didn't know about being a good dad and husband, and I thought I did. I really thought I did. And I misunderstood that. And I did it wrong in so many ways, and I hated being blamed for it. And so it made me resistant to ownership.
Sister Wives explosive. TLC had to warn Kody Brown to stop attacking his own kids. TLC executives had to step in and tell Kody Brown to stop. Stop attacking his own children on camera. It got so bad, so uncomfortable, so damaging that the network intervened. What was Kody saying about his kids that made producers say enough is enough? And why did he keep doing it anyway? The answer reveals everything wrong with this man. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you thought you'd seen Kody Brown at his worst, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you shows just how far he's fallen as a father and as a human being. According to insider reports and sources close to production, TLC executives actually had to warn Kody Brown to stop verbally attacking his children on camera. Yes, you heard that correctly. The network that profits from his family drama had to step in because his treatment of his own kids became too disturbing to broadcast without intervention. This is the same man who claims to love his children, who preaches about family values, who built an entire brand around being a polygamist father of 18. Yet he was so cruel, so relentlessly critical, and so publicly disparaging of his own children that producers felt compelled to intervene. Today we're breaking down exactly what Kody said, which kids bore the brunt of his attacks, why TLC felt they had to step in, and what this tells us about who Kody Brown really is when the cameras are rolling. And trust me, it's worse than you think. Kody's deteriorating relationships. To understand how we got here, we need to look at the timeline of Kody's relationships with his children, particularly over the last few years. As his marriages to Christine, Janelle, and Mary have crumbled, Kody's relationships with most of his children have completely disintegrated. And here's what's really telling. Kody doesn't take any responsibility for these broken relationships. Instead, he blames the kids. He blames their mothers. He blames everyone but himself. We've watched him on camera call his children disrespectful, say they've been poisoned against him by their mothers, suggest they're not worth his time, and even imply that some of them are dead to him. These aren't private conversations that got leaked. These are things he chose to say on national television, knowing millions of people would watch. The pandemic really exposed Kody's true colors. When he put extreme COVID protocols in place that essentially made him a full-time resident at Robyn's house, his other children were devastated. Particularly hurt were Gabriel, one of Janelle's sons. They wanted to see their father. They wanted his support. They wanted him to show up for them. Instead, Kody attacked them for it. He called them rebellious. He said they didn't respect his authority. He made it clear that his rules mattered more than their emotional needs. And when they pushed back, when they expressed hurt and frustration, Kody dug in. That's when things apparently got so bad that the network had to intervene. Because Kody wasn't just being a neglectful father off camera. He was actively attacking his children on camera, and it was becoming a liability for the network. The specific attacks, what Kody said now about specific examples of Kody's on-camera attacks against his kids, because guys, this pattern is extensive and it's deeply disturbing. Gabe. During the pandemic episodes, Kody repeatedly called these two sons disrespectful and defiant. In one particularly painful scene, Gabriel tried to have an honest conversation with his father about feeling abandoned, and Kody's response was to tell him he was being disrespectful and to essentially dismiss his feelings entirely. Kody said on camera that his sons were choosing to not have a relationship with him because they wouldn't follow his COVID rules. He framed it as their choice, their failure, their problem. Never mind that his rules were extreme and that he was the one choosing Robyn's house overseeing his other children. Ysabel. Christine's daughter had to undergo major surgery for her scoliosis, and she wanted her dad there. It was a major medical procedure. She was terrified, and she asked explicitly for Kody to be there. His response? He said he couldn't leave due to COVID restrictions and his responsibilities to Robyn's household. But it gets really bad. After declining to be there for his daughter's surgery, Kody then went on camera to complain about how Ysabel's expectations of him were unreasonable. He made himself the victim in a situation where his teenage daughter was getting spinal surgery without her father. The cruelty of that is breathtaking. Mary's relationship with the kids. Kody has repeatedly blamed Mary for not having relationships with the family and publicly insinuated his children don't want anything to do with her. He has used his children as weapons against Mary, claiming their feelings justify his complete withdrawal from their marriage. Christine's kids broadly. After Christine left, Kody did several interviews where he insinuated Christine had turned the children against him, that they were disloyal, that they had chosen their mother over him. He couldn't seem to wrap his head around the fact that maybe, just maybe, the kids sided with Christine because they watched him treat her terribly for years. Why TLC had T.O. intervene? So why did TLC feel the need to step in? Networks rarely interfere in reality TV content unless there's a serious concern, either legal or ethical, or related to public perception and advertiser relationships. First, there's the issue of child welfare. Most of Kody's children are adults now, but several were minors when these attacks started, and the smaller kids in Robyn's house were watching their dad publicly disparage their siblings. TLC has a responsibility to ensure they are not facilitating child abuse or creating a toxic environment for minors. Second, viewer backlash was intense. Every single time Kody attacked one of his kids on camera, social media would erupt in outrage. Fans were threatening to boycott the show, calling out TLC for giving Kody a platform to abuse his children publicly, and demanding the network take action. From a business perspective, this was becoming a PR nightmare. Third, there may have been legal concerns. Some of Kody's on-camera statements about his children could potentially be considered defamatory or emotionally abusive. While family members generally have more leeway in what they say about each other, when it's broadcast to millions and affects someone's reputation, the network could face liability issues. Fourth, the adult children were pushing back. Several of Kody's kids have become more vocal about their experiences, both on the show and on social media. They're not staying silent while their father trashes them on television. This creates tension in production and makes filming more complicated. So TLC apparently sat Kody down and told him he needed to tone it down. Stop making everything about his children's supposed failures. Stop attacking them on camera. Find a different narrative. And Kody's response? He barely listened. Because if you watch recent episodes, he's still doing it. Maybe slightly more carefully worded, but the attacks continue. The double standard, Robyn's kids versus everyone else, here's what makes Kody's attacks on his children even more infuriating. The blatant double standard between how he treats Robyn's kids versus everyone else. Robyn's children can do no wrong in Kody's eyes. They're always sympathetic, always struggling, always deserving of his time and attention. When Aurora has a panic attack, Kody drops everything. When Robyn's kids need something, he's there immediately. But his other children? They're held to impossible standards and then blamed when they can't meet them. They're called disrespectful for expressing normal emotions. They're accused of disloyalty for maintaining relationships with their mothers. They're dismissed as not worth his time if they don't comply with his every demand. Let's be specific here. When Robyn's kids cry, Kody comforts them and calls them sensitive souls who need extra support. When Christine's or Janelle's kids express pain, Kody calls them disrespectful and manipulative. When Robyn's kids need him, it's an emergency that justifies abandoning everyone else. When his other kids need him, like Ysabel needing him for surgery, it's an inconvenience that he can't accommodate. This double standard isn't subtle. It's glaring and obvious to everyone watching except apparently to Kody himself. And it's this double standard that has destroyed his relationships with most of his children. The kids from his first 3 marriages are painfully aware they're second-class citizens in their father's eyes. They've watched for years as Robyn's children got priority, attention, and grace, while they got criticism, neglect, and blame. The impact on the children, let's talk about what this has done to Kody's children, because the damage is real, and it's lasting. Gabriel's heartbreak was visible on camera. In his COVID conversation with Kody, you could see a young man desperate for his dad's love and approval, trying so hard to bridge the gap, and was repeatedly shut down. That scene was devastating to watch because Gabe was so vulnerable and Kody was so cold. Garrison's pain manifested as anger and distance. He stopped trying to have a relationship with Kody because the rejection was too painful. Tragically, Garrison recently passed away, and that loss has added another layer of heartbreak to this entire situation. Many fans have pointed out that Kody's neglect and public attacks may have contributed to Garrison's struggles. Ysabel has been open about how hurt she was that her dad didn't show up for her surgery. That's not something you just get over. Your father choosing not to be there for major surgery sends a message about your worth, and that message stays with you. Truly, Christine's youngest has grown up watching her dad prioritize another family over hers. She's had to process her parents' separation while also dealing with the reality that her dad doesn't make her a priority. The adult children like Michael T, Aspen, and Paydon have had to watch their dad publicly trash their family and their mom on television. They've had to decide whether to stay silent or speak up, knowing that either choice has consequences. And here's the thing that Kody doesn't seem to understand. You can't publicly attack your children and then expect them to maintain a loving relationship with you. You can't blame them for your failures and then be surprised when they distance themselves. You can't choose one family over the others and then act shocked when the neglected children stop trying. Kody's complete lack of accountability. What's perhaps most frustrating about this entire situation is Kody's absolute refusal to take any accountability for his broken relationships with his children. In Kody's narrative, he is the victim. His children have been unreasonable. Their mothers have poisoned them against him. He has been disrespected and unappreciated. It's always someone else's fault, never his. He can't seem to grasp the basic concept that as the parent, he is responsible for maintaining relationships with his children, not the other way around. Children shouldn't have to bend over backwards to have a relationship with their father. That's not how it works. When your kids are telling you they feel abandoned, the right response is not, "You're being disrespectful." It's, "I hear you. I'm sorry. What can I do differently?" When your daughter needs you for surgery, the right response is not, "That's inconvenient for me." It's, "I'll be there, no question." When multiple kids across multiple moms are all having problems with you, the common denominator is you. But Kody can't see it, or won't see it. He's so wrapped up in his own narrative of being this misunderstood patriarch that he can't acknowledge the pain he's caused. And the most damning part? Even after TLC warned him to stop attacking his kids on camera, he continued doing it. That shows you where his priorities are. His need to be right, to justify himself, to blame everyone else is more important than protecting his relationships with his children. The Robyn factor. We can't talk about Kody's attacks on his children without talking about Robyn's role in all of this, because she's not innocent in this dynamic. Robyn has consistently reinforced Kody's narrative that his other kids are the problem. She's reinforced his victimhood. She's helped him justify his neglect of his other families by framing her children as more deserving of his time and attention. And in scenes when Kody is whining about his other kids, Robyn nods along sympathetically, validating his feelings, never saying anything such as, "Kody, maybe you are being too harsh," or "Have you considered they have valid reasons to be hurt?" Instead, Robyn created this dynamic whereby Kody feels comfortable completely abandoning his other families because she provides all the emotional validation he needs. She's his echo chamber, reinforcing his worst instincts as a father. And there's evidence to suggest that Robyn actively doesn't want Kody spending time with his other families. She has made comments about feeling stressed when he's gone, about her kids needing him, and about how hard it is to be alone. This creates pressure on Kody to stay with her instead of seeing his other children. Some fans have speculated that Robyn may have encouraged Kody to be harsher with his other kids as a way of justifying why he spends all his time at her house. If the other kids are disrespectful and don't want a relationship anyway, then Kody's favoritism seems more justified. Whether that's intentional manipulation or just the natural result of their dynamic is debatable, but the effect is the same. Kody feels enabled to treat his other children terribly, and Robyn provides the emotional support system that allows him to do so without feeling guilty. Fan reactions and the court of public opinion. The Sister Wives fandom has been absolutely brutal in their assessment of Kody's treatment of his children, and rightfully so. Social media has been flooded with people calling out his behavior, defending his kids, and demanding that TLC take stronger action. The hashtags #JusticeForGabe, #TeamChristine, and #CodyIsTheWorst have trended multiple times. YouTube comments on Sister Wives clips are overwhelmingly critical of Kody, with thousands of people pointing out his failures as a father and expressing sympathy for his children. Reddit communities dedicated to Sister Wives have done deep dive analyses of Kody's parenting, documenting every instance of neglect, favoritism, and verbal abuse. The kids themselves have found support from fans. When they speak out on social media, they're met with overwhelming encouragement and validation. Fans tell them they deserved better, that their feelings are valid, that it's not their fault. This public support has been crucial for these kids. When your father is publicly attacking you, having thousands of strangers validate your experience and affirm that his behavior is wrong provides an important counterbalance. Christine has been particularly praised by fans for protecting her children and getting them away from this toxic dynamic. Her decision to leave is increasingly viewed as an act of maternal courage, putting her kids' well-being above plural marriage ideology. The court of public opinion has rendered its verdict on Kody Brown as a father, and that verdict is damning. He's widely viewed as narcissistic, abusive, neglectful, and cruel. And no amount of TLC editing can change that perception because his own words and actions have convicted him. So, where does the show go from here? TLC is in a difficult position. Sister Wives has been a successful franchise for them, but Kody Brown has become increasingly unlikable, and the family has completely fractured. Option 1. Continue filming Kody and Robyn's family primarily, with occasional check-ins with the other wives and adult children. This is basically what they're doing now, but it's not sustainable because viewers don't want to watch Kody and Robyn exclusively. Option 2. Pivot to focus more on Christine, Janelle, and the adult children, treating Kody as a peripheral character. This might be more appealing to fans, but requires Kody to accept a diminished role, which his ego probably can't handle. Option 3. End Sister Wives and potentially launch spin-offs focused on individual families. Christine Brown, life after polygamy, would probably be quite successful. Janelle's journey might also be interesting for viewers. Option 4. Continue as is but with stronger editorial intervention, essentially using Kody as the villain and his children as the sympathetic characters. This is somewhat what's happening already, but it requires careful balancing. The challenge is that Kody seems incapable of change. Even with TLC warning him to stop attacking his kids, he continues to do it, just perhaps more carefully worded. He's shown no growth, no self-reflection, no genuine remorse, and viewers are tired of it. The comments on every Sister Wives post are people saying they're done with Kody. They can't watch him anymore. They want the show to focus on literally anyone else. TLC has invested years in this franchise, but they may be reaching a point where Kody Brown is more liability than asset. His treatment of his children isn't just bad television ethics. It's becoming a branding problem for the network. The larger issues, reality TV and family exploitation, this situation raises bigger questions about reality television and how it exploits families, particularly children. Sister Wives has been on the air for over a decade, and we've watched these kids grow up on camera, including watching their father publicly criticize and reject them. Is that ethical? Should networks allow parents to attack their children on television? Where's the line between documenting family drama and facilitating family dysfunction? TLC Warning Kody suggests they're at least somewhat aware of these concerns, but a warning isn't enough. If Kody's behavior toward his children is genuinely harmful, and it is, should he be given a platform to continue that behavior at all? The Brown children didn't choose to be on Sister Wives. That choice was made for them by their parents. And now they're adults dealing with the consequences of having their family dysfunction broadcast to millions of people, including their father's rejection of them being recorded for posterity. There's something deeply troubling about a network profiting from family breakdown, while doing the bare minimum to intervene when that breakdown becomes abusive. A warning to tone it down doesn't undo the damage already done or prevent future harm. Reality TV has long exploited family dysfunction for ratings, but Sister Wives has reached a point where the exploitation is so obvious so palpably harmful, it's becoming difficult to watch without feeling complicit. What Kody doesn't understand here is what Kody Brown fundamentally doesn't understand. Your children don't owe you a relationship. You owe them a relationship. You're the parent. You created them. You're responsible for them, not the other way around. When you attack your children publicly, when you choose one family over another, when you refuse to show up for major life events, when you blame them for your failures, you're not being a father, that you're being a bully. And eventually, your children will be done. They'll stop trying. They'll stop reaching out. They'll build lives that don't include you. And you'll have no one to blame but yourself. That's where Kody is now. Most of his children want nothing to do with him, and the relationships that remain are strained at best. He's a father of 18 who's actively involved with maybe a third of his kids. And instead of recognizing this as the tragedy it is, instead of doing the hard work of self-reflection and change, instead of reaching out to his children with genuine remorse and humility, Kody doubles down. He attacks them more. He blames them harder. He justifies himself louder. The TLC warning should have been a wake-up call. It should have made him realize that his behavior had crossed a line. But it didn't change anything because Kody doesn't want to change. He wants everyone else to change to accommodate him. So that's the sad part in all of this. The kids who grew up believing their dad loved them and then found out as adults his love was contingent upon their obedience and their willingness to take second place to Robyn's family. So what do you think? Was TLC right to warn Kody? Should they have done more? Should they have done it sooner? Do you think Kody's capable of change? Or is this just who he is? And what do you think the future holds for his relationships with his children? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about this because it's heavy, it's complicated, and there are a lot of feelings around how these kids have been treated. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any Sister Wives coverage. We're following every development that happens in this family, and trust me, there's always more drama around the corner. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll be diving into Christine's new life and why it's everything Kody never gave her. You won't want to miss it.